What's up, my little chicken nuggets? Welcome to episode 35 of the Coffee Club podcast. We're here in the studio today right before the boys leave this afternoon/evening off to Birmingham. I was when I said that in my head, I was thinking Birmingham, Alabama.
That's where everyone keeps thinking we're going to race. About to that. When we saying Birmingham wrong?
Yeah, someone commented that you meant to say Birmingham, but with a British accent, I guess.
Birmingham.
I'm not going to do that.
Let's hear it, Ollie.
I'm not going to do that.
You're going to be the best at this. Go on, give us one.
Birmingham.
I can't even, when I try to, I think I'm overthinking the accent. I can't even think of how to do a British accent right now.
We'll find out when we get in there.
You're right, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You sound like you're from London.
You sound like you're from London.
Yeah, I'm lost. I have no idea how you meant to say that town's name now. I'm so confused.
Oh, can I have 20 quid?
But, yeah, so we're getting into the episode a little early in the week because the boys are about to take off, but we're going to be covering the meet. It's the Diamond League second round, I guess you would call it.
Second round.
Second round of the Diamond League. Out of how many rounds are there? Who knows?
Who knows?
But the boys have a very big one coming up. So that most of the episode will probably be about that. Before we get into that, we got a couple of quick coffee shout-outs today. First one is to our faithful Jordan Donnelly, man that knows how to get shit done. He's got us some coffee from a company called La Cabra, which is based in Denmark, so they probably don't say it like that. And
I don't know. I like it like that.
That was good.
What does it mean, George?
The GOAT.
Is that in Danish?
No, it's got to be Spanish.
Spanish? Yeah.
Does that mean the greatest of all time?
Yeah, in Spanish. The greatest of all time.
So
Probably.
that's the greatest coffee of all time.
It has been pretty good.
It's been damn good. And Ollie, you have a very special coffee shout out today.
Yes, my parents, who sent a package 2 months ago, sent this package from Cairns, Black Mountain.
Cairns.
Cairns.
That's the most Australian.
Cairns.
You have to say that
You
word.
have to say
super
that with an Australian accent.
Cairns.
Yeah.
Isn't that-
Cairns.
Cairns.
Is that how I said it?
Yeah.
So Cairns. So thank you very much, Mum and Dad. We will be drinking this. Shout out to Greggy and Katie
the Great.
Katie K.
Yeah, thanks, guys. And merch update very quickly. Took the designs and the samples into the shop yesterday. I think we'll get our samples done in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's going to take a really long time still. Is every single step of it just takes way longer than we thought. But yeah, those samples will be coming out in the next couple of weeks or so. And we'll get the pictures, then do the pre-orders. But now that we've finished all that stuff, so what's happened in the running world this past weekend was actually the first round of the Diamond League, which took place in good old Doha, a very beautiful country. Not really, it's really
From
hot.
experience?
Yeah, it is. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk shit about them. I feel like there's a lot of powerful Qataris out there, but I don't know. It's actually a pretty cool, unique place. It's one of those places, and I think all of us will have these places as we go through our careers where you're like, man, I'm really happy I got to go race here because it's a unique, cool place, but I would probably never pay to go here. I wouldn't
You wouldn't go on vacation there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to that much effort to go there. I'd probably choose somewhere else because it is kind of what you would expect. I mean, okay, there's a lot of fucked up shit with that country, which I think everyone knows about.
Yeah.
A lot of just crazy wealthy people, and then a lot of people that are just grinding to survive and are sending money back home to their families, from all these different countries in Africa and all this different stuff. But it's a legit sandy desert, and there's the actual markets and stuff, kind of like what you would expect. And that stuff is pretty cool. There's a lot of nice smells there. Have you guys been to a mosque or anything, and they burn? Mm-hmm. It's a certain type of incense. Almost just said incest that they burn. And
You burn incest?
Yeah, and it smells so good. And so you get that smell all around the markets and everything there, which is really cool. The food is pretty good, pretty unique. There's a really nice museum that we went to, and I think we had cow tongue or something as one of the dishes, and it was pretty yum.
Seriously?
Yeah, my parents, it was a bit of a treat after the race, after Racing World
Yeah,
Champs.
did you have a few days there?
Yeah, we had a bunch of days there because I don't know why, but yeah, I was with my parents there just chilling, and it was cool. They took me on some cool stuff. We didn't do any of you can go out actually into the more desert and go on the camels or the ATVs type stuff. We didn't do any of that, but around the city we did a bit of exploring. It was pretty cool, pretty random place. But yeah, so they have the Diamond League there. It's kind of always the first one or the second one.
It's similar to the F1 because isn't F1 start it ends in Middle East and then it kind of starts in Middle East too, right?
It's kind of
normally
changed.
it's supposed to start in Australia every year.
Yeah, but it changed
recently it has been. I think
Yeah.
normally it always finishes.
So it kind of
in the
starts at
Middle
that
East.
part of the world and then slowly moves over. I think the
Yeah.
Diamond League's kind of similar, would you say?
Yeah, it makes sense because if you didn't host it as the first one, it's going to be so hot.
Yeah.
Because it's probably already extremely hot there.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they have to do it as the first one. But it was a bit of a shame because it's normally a very quick one. They get some really good, a lot of the really good canyons and stuff go over and they're just ready to go. And often some of the Aussies, like the MTT guys, are racing it and
Yeah.
they normally knock out the qualifier if they haven't already got it there. But I don't know, apparently it's just windy as all heck this year.
Yeah, they had to cancel the pole vault. It was so windy.
But did they not even do it indoors? 'Cause
They did the next.
saw a
I think they
tweet.
did the next day indoors.
Yeah. So it was kind of a bit of a shame in terms of running quick, but I think the races themselves were still pretty amazing.
Yeah,
We had the 800.
800 was very much more of a tactical affair. I think the winner was 149.
Wait, who won it? Do we know?
A really young Kenyan.
Apparently it was like
Quebec?
17.
I think Quebec.
17 or
Wow.
18.
Yeah, 149.
Mhm.
Brazier was 6th with 150.
Yeah.
Peter Ball, Australian guy, is doing well off his great Olympics with 4th. He got 2nd.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looked like it was much more of a tactical race, which was cool.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
a Diamond League winning 149? That's
It's the
insanely
first. I
slow.
think it's the first time in 13 years it's been one like that slow.
yeah.
Especially when the pace was, Sawinski's pace was like written down as 50.5.
I think he
Yeah.
ran. I think he
Yeah.
went through in like 50. I think
It was
did they
54.
negative split? I can't say too much. 'Cause I didn't look
Don't
into it
watch
as
it.
much, but
He was like 54.
Diamond Leagues are cool because you've got the best athletes in the world, and they're always going to be racing like pretty cool races. You know.
Yeah, I think we do have to give a big shout out to Peter Ball,
Yeah.
our Aussie friend. I mean, he was actually at the Olympics. He was in the room right next to Ollie and I. So we got to spend a lot of time with him.
He's
He's a
great.
real cool character, very professional at this point. He's been on the scene for quite a while. You know, he's done a lot of racing through Europe and a lot of representing Australia in his time. And he's very casual about it, but has just absolutely come on in the last... I mean, I don't know when it started because the COVID stuff always kind of confuses it a bit because I don't think he did a ton of traveling like through COVID. But he, at the Olympics, he was 4th, right?
He was leading with like 100 to go.
Yeah, he raced it so well.
He looked so good to get a medal with like 100 to go.
Oh, it was hard to watch because like I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna win.
Yeah. And then from that point onwards, he hasn't put a foot wrong. I don't know if he's just been healthy for the longest time in his career up to this point, and now he's just getting the results. His squad and coach in Australia are really good.
Really well credited.
Like it's very specific, like 800 squad, so it's
Yeah.
pretty cool to see. So shout out to him.
He's got a great mentality
Yeah.
too. He's
I
a
saw
great
him-
person to be around.
I saw them doing some crazy lifting in Leuven one summer. Like it's
Dude.
very 800 training.
Well,
Like they run so fast.
He's cheating because he is the type of person, the type of body type where I feel like even if he didn't train, he would just look absolutely jacked,
Jacked,
and
yeah.
so, and
athletic.
so fit. And then he goes in the gym and lifts some weights and he gets a bit sweaty and he just looks like the best athlete in the world.
It was
And
amazing.
I'm so jealous. But yeah, so that's Pete. I mean, hopefully he just keeps it going. That's a great way to get the season rolling for him. I suppose he's probably already qualified for everything because he won nationals and he would have the time, so that's pretty sweet. And then what were the other races? The 1500?
The 1500. It was windy going into it, so we kind of knew that it wasn't going to be necessarily a fast race, but it was still kind of quick. I mean, the winner, Kip Sang, is just killing it right now. So he won that very convincingly in front of Cheerio.
Cheerio.
335, and we had two Aussie boys in there. Rambo was 6th with 338, and then Stewie had a tough day in the office. He was 348 with 11th. So a lot of those races, like you look at the fields, they're pretty good fields. Diamond League's always going to be good fields. So, but it looked like a pretty cool race. Running, I think, I keep saying he's like just he's moving strength to strength. He's going to be very. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Concerning for Stewie, honestly. I mean, his season last year was unbelievable,
Yeah.
and a couple of setbacks in the winter, and man, like set back pretty far.
Well,
Hopefully not
you can.
for much longer, but
I don't think it's unfair to say that he probably had the best 1500 meter season an Australian's had
Yeah.
for a very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Easily.
So like for him, obviously when you have a season like that, the next season you're going to be like, okay, like let's move forward with it. And
Definitely.
sometimes you have setbacks. That's what running is about. You know, like people will quickly forget, your history and what you've been racing in the previous years. So hopefully, it's the first Diamond League. You know, it's still such an early time before like all the major champs coming out. So
Yeah.
I hope he gets rolling with it and gets back to where he wants to be.
Yeah, I guess the weird thing is we don't know exactly what is going on with him. Obviously, as we talked about previously in the podcast, there's reasons he didn't race nationals, and he had some issues in the Australian season, which he normally crushes that as well. And we believe he had COVID and then struggled after or something. And so that's just if that is the reason, which it seems like it might be, that's just such an annoying reason
It's just,
such bad luck.
Be like what's
really
affecting you.
unlucky.
So, yeah, definitely we feel for him, and we hope that he just gets back to his old ways, because the way that he's been crushing it on the circuit for the last 3 years or whatever has been...
It's been fun to watch too,
amazing.
actually.
He's a fun racer to watch,
Yeah.
100%. And it's cool as an Australian, seeing him do that, you're like, okay, he can do it. Like, hopefully other Australians can like follow his path of just going out there and crushing races at such a high level. So he's been a great example of that.
Having you and Stewie 3rd and 4th in the Diamond League final and ranked in the world last year, like for Australia, that's insane.
Yeah, it's a cool thing, and it's hopefully getting a lot of attention for Australians in that kind of event. But yeah, hopefully he gets back to healthy, fit training, and I know leading forward he'll probably be in a few more Diamond Leagues.
When does Australia pick the rest of the team? Did we decide?
It's whenever the qualification period ends, so I assume
mid-June,
that's
is it?
mid to end
of June.
late June. So, I mean, who knows? I think he can get picked, like, no matter what, pretty much. I don't know if hasn't raced as well this year. I think there's a chance they would still pick him based off what he's already achieved, like how good he is and how good they know he can be. So, I don't know. I think looking at that race as well, though, you got to say Kipsang, who is 4th at the Olympics, right? He's got to be like the best 1500 meter runner in the world, like right in this moment right now. You would think.
I would say so, just because Jakob hasn't raced.
Yeah, I guess
he beat Chariot.
I guess it's
DeFera
hard.
also hasn't raced. I'd say DeFera, and this is the cool thing that we'll lead into. But like those guys, when they start to come head to head, that's when you really start to see who's the best.
I think we'll find out in the next 2 weeks. Because with Birmingham and Pre, all those people are racing.
2 massive meets with a lot of talent in there. You've got a guy like Jakob who knows how to win races. You've got Chariot who knows how to win races, defending world champion coming into this year. And you have Tefera, world indoor champion, looking really strong. So
yeah,
it's going to be cool to see.
Because the other performance for Kipsang, which we didn't mention, was, I think it was just 1 week ago, he ran a 3:31 in Kenya in the race there, which was a pretty big race, and there's a lot of really good people in that race, and he toasted them. He ran 3:31. I don't know what the altitude was. Was it 7,000 feet?
I mean, the NCAA conversion was 3:25.
Yeah, so to be able to do that,
he beat Chalimo by 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Chalimo ran 3:41.
So clearly he is in absolutely unreal form right now.
He didn't even look tired after that. I just like the video after. He just looked like he was just getting shit done.
Sorry, my money's on Ollie.
Ollie, take it.
I mean, like the one thing I guess we can talk about Birmingham. We can get into it now. The one thing that's exciting about Birmingham is I think George and I in particular have got in some really great training, and it's going to be pretty cool to be able to race guys like this, because leading up to like a major championship, the amount of chances you get to race like people like Kipsang and Tefera and Josh Kerr, like they're very limited amount. So be able to like go in there and like have a bit of fun with it, as well as like getting used to being around them leading up to like a world championship. It's going to be a great experience. I think George and I are ready to whatever gets thrown at us, I think we're able to deal with it. So it's going to be really exciting. And also 2 guys from the OEC competing in the Diamond League.
Yeah,
pretty sick. So
it's pretty cool to have that happen. And
yeah.
So just looking at the field for the Birmingham 1500, which both these boys are racing in this week when this episode comes out. So it's pretty much all the best people in the world except for is Chariot racing or no?
I don't think Jakob or Chariot are running.
Okay.
I think they're both running Pre the next week.
Okay. So apart from them, it's like all the #heavy hitters, you would say.
It's a lot of heavy hitters in there. And
Josh Kerr. Another race against Josh Kerr. How good is that?
My boy Kerr. It's going to be fantastic, particularly
in his homeland.
In his home
well, actually,
do you call it the UK?
He's from Scotland.
Do you call it UK country? What do you call the UK? Because it's like a bunch of countries.
I don't know.
If I say like he's back from it's not his country because he's Scottish.
I normally just call them dickheads, but
yeah. But
joke. I love British people.
Joke. Banter. Yeah. I'm really excited for it because I think Tefera is particularly coming off I'd say disappointing Olympics for him. He didn't make through the first round to winning and beating Jakob in the World Indoors. Like he's got a lot of heavy hit potential. So, and also like George and I, I think George and I would agree with. We just want to get scalps. We just want to, we both want to win the race. We both want to
Well, the thing is,
finish high.
Birmingham is definitely not known for perfect racing conditions. And I think there is rain in the forecast. So,
like Gates said, be like Gates said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Might be just more, racing
race.
for places, as opposed to a 3:28 race in Doha.
Yeah.
In perfect
100%.
conditions. Not that was either, but
Yeah. Wait, do we have a nickname for Josh Kerr on this show?
I
What do
did
you
have
call
one,
it?
but I didn't want to use it.
Oh, is it too bad?
Yeah,
offensive?
Yeah, it's that one.
Oh, yeah, we were. No, there's too much. I would just call him Josh Kerr for now.
I was gonna call him Josh Curb.
Curb. Yeah.
Like Curb, like the curb.
Oh yeah, I think we can do better.
Or
than
Josh
that.
Carb.
Carb.
Dude, I can't think of one right now.
Yeah.
Ribeye ribbage is just so easy,
Ribeye.
Ribeye ribbage.
Dude, how is
Ribbit,
that
ribbage?
going?
He ran Sound 5K. He was in our race.
Oh, he was
He just
too.
got engaged. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Ribbage is definitely listening to this. So.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Speaking of Josh, you hyped up Josh Kerr a lot before that 5K.
I did. Well,
there was definitely talk of 30 no's. I definitely heard
No,
that
I
come out of all his
thought
mouth.
13 teens to 30 no's. I thought, yeah.
That's what I honestly would have said as
Yeah,
well.
so, yeah.
Because I just feel like a lot of 15 guys that are like at his level are running 30 no's, 13 teens, 5Ks.
Yeah, I'd just be like, why are you going to race a 5K if you don't think you're going to...
I think he thought that coming in
Crush it.
too. He just must have had a bad day in the office.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that, huh?
We mentioned that. Well, Brooks didn't have a great day in the office.
Yeah.
For that race, because I think David Ribeye didn't have a great race either.
Just a rust buster, though.
Just a rust buster. They haven't even done speed work. They haven't even touched speed work.
Or strength, I heard.
Oh yeah. Or running in general. They've just been getting engaged.
They've just been doing those drills.
They've been doing
Running-
drills, sitting in
drills.
a pull-out chair and getting engaged. So
Yeah.
they've been
That sounds fun.
living the dream. But they'll be getting to get some hard training. And I imagine going to compete in the Birmingham Diamond League as a UK athlete would be pretty sick. So.
I don't doubt that Josh Kerr is going to go into this race with a massive hard on, wanting to just tear it up.
Rip everyone up. Yeah.
That's the way I think he approaches most of his races, in particular races when he goes back home to do them. So I think he's going to be very, very motivated to do that. And I wonder, I guess these races like this sometimes are a bit of a factor in the selection of the British team. They actually, in their criteria, I think they reference races like this sometimes as like, well,
Is this like Australia or only the winner?
they
of British
have
Champs is
top
order?
2, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Might be
I
auto.
think you're right.
And then the number 3 is discretionary. So races like this, because for anyone who doesn't know, when a race is held in a country, that country will get X amount of spots in a race if they want them. So this race is in England and the UK. So there'll be a lot more UK athletes in this one than, a normal 1500. So the head-to-head battle there between those athletes is kind of important for getting picked on the team for that 3rd spot. And we
It's
know
like
the
Gateshead.
UK, we know the UK team is one of the hardest 1500 meter teams to make right
If
now.
not the hardest.
Yeah. Well, actually, did you guys just see that Charlie Grice just got super injured? Kind of.
Oh, no, but
he
he's back running, I think.
He is. He sprained his ankle, and he posted pictures of it.
Massive.
It looked really bad.
Was it like a Morgan ankle?
It
was
looked
like a Morgan ankle, I
No, it
think.
did.
Like, he
100%.
looked
That's what
real
That's what I
bad.
thought about when I saw it. It was a Morgan ankle.
He looked real bad. So I don't know.
Speedy recovery for our boy
I hope
Grice.
so. That's just such a shitty injury. So, but apart from that, in the field, should we say who the other UK guys are? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know who is Piers Copeland.
Welsh dude. I think he ran at indoors, I think. Maybe
Indoor
didn't win.
Worlds?
Indoor British
champs?
indoors. But I think he decided he didn't want to go.
Oh,
He's good.
Oh, so we qualified, but you didn't want to go.
I think so.
Okay.
because we got him and then also George Mills, who's
OAC Europe.
fellow on athlete.
OAC Europe.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about OAC Europe on the show yet.
I don't know how that slipped under the radar.
How did we miss that one?
Well, so there's a team now called OAC Europe.
Got announced probably, 2 weeks ago?
They did a great announcement video. It was
Cool
much
video.
better than the hashtag draft that we had, which was very, very cringeworthy.
Don't tell people
Dude,
that
okay,
exists.
I don't think
tell people that
many people have
exists.
seen this, but if you go on YouTube and
Don't
you
listen
search
to
up
Morgan.
OAC draft, it's put together by FlowTrack. Is it on FlowTrack's account?
I don't know.
Or is it on-
It was posted
Don't
on
know.
FlowCheck, you're right.
Yeah, so if you just find that video and it's 10 minutes, it's kind of long, but it's like very worth
It's the worst thing ever.
It's just
It's
very
so embarrassing.
entertaining. It's very entertaining. The boys had to do some nice acting. It was like this mock draft. Just watch it. Just go watch it. But yeah, OAC Europe's one was kind of way more hype.
Way more hype, way more professionally done. And that's great because obviously like a brand recognize, okay, this is like a better thing than this thing.
Yeah.
The draft was
So
pretty
two Georges.
Yeah.
Two on Georges.
Two on Georges.
Yeah. And wait, who? And
And
then
A fellow on
Charles.
athlete, not OEC Europe, Charles Griffin.
yeah, representing Luxembourg and on, so he'll be in the race as well. And he was in the Olympic final,
332 guy.
so it'll be really good. And
You
then,
know he's going to be out hot.
Red hot.
Start. Red hot.
is that the way he races?
I think he's just running every rep he did in Boulder. It's just so cool.
Really?
His like just top end speed is amazing.
He comes from that 800
Yeah,
meter background.
he's just 8:15 guy, so he's always out the gate.
Always out the gate, firing.
Yeah. And then the other Aussies are Stewie is entered, so he should be there, I imagine. And then also apparently Rambo.
I think Ramsden is also racing.
So
Why is Jake Whitecastle? No,
Whitecastle.
in there.
wait, is White Castle the name of the fast food chain?
Yeah.
I've never been there.
What's his name?
Whiteman. Jake Whiteman.
Is he running?
Oh yeah.
His own.
I
his
feel
own
like
Diamond
he
League?
would be announced on.
Yeah.
So we have the press release in front of us, which only says 8 of the athletes confirmed in the race. It doesn't say the whole field. We think it'll be probably 12 to 15 people. But you would
Hopefully
have to
I'm actually
think.
in there.
Yeah, George is not on here, so hopefully he's in there. But
Well, they've probably picked people that were in the Gateshead or
yeah.
UK athletes only.
If Wyman was in, he'd definitely be on this
Yeah.
list. Maybe he's in the 800 though. He could be doing the 800.
did the 800 at Sound.
Yeah, so I don't know. Perhaps he's doing that because I can't imagine he's not doing that unless. Well, this is the thing for a lot of these athletes, and Whiteman is an example of this. He's coming from Europe and he's been based in America now for a month or so training, and maybe
In Flagstaff?
yeah.
He just was posting that he was leaving Flag.
Oh, he is
or
leaving.
wrapping up camp.
Okay, so
and
maybe
getting
he's
ready to
going
race.
back.
Maybe he's going to Birmingham.
Because I was gonna say it kind of
800.
makes sense for like especially someone like Jakob to skip this one and just stay in the US and then race pre a week later.
Well,
Mhm.
Pre's much more like, I'm not talking down Birmingham at all, but Pre is very, very big.
Yeah, particularly if you're
Particularly
sponsored by a certain
If you're
brand.
sponsored by a brand that does like child labor. So,
I think they don't do that. I think we got accused of child labor now as well.
I mean, I think every brand's accused of child labor,
yeah,
really.
I think Pre is bigger. I think you're right.
pre is pretty historic.
Pre's bigger with child labor or pretty big, bigger with Birmingham Diamond? All brands are, yeah.
We're not allowed to joke about child labor, so we just got cancelled. Fuck.
Coffee Club doesn't use, do we?
No, we're about to.
Does
No,
Avery
we're
count?
gonna
Does
pay
Avery
them.
count as child labor?
Well, if you pay them well,
With On Gear.
yeah, on gear is not cheap.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
pretty
So if
expensive.
you pay them with On Gear and they come to help us move, does that classify as like,
I guess like
Abuse.
technically it is child labor, but I guess child labor refers
constitutes a
generally
child?
to. It's a good question.
is a child like 16?
I think
under?
once you get your first boner, you're no longer a child. You
Oh,
become an
well then,
adult.
when I was 8, I'm no longer a child.
No. I don't know, but I don't know how we got into this. Prefontaine, big meet. So I think a lot of the people based here
A lot of heavy hitters.
will be staying and racing it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy you guys are going over and racing that just for one week and coming back. But
Dude, I mean, Gateshead was crazier. When I
Yeah.
did that, it was 36 hours of no sleep, travel, race, then travel
big
back.
race.
I bet
Yeah.
that's why we're going so early this year. Because
Just to
Dathan only
avoid
went
that.
through the shit of last year.
Yeah, it was.
That
It was
now we're
pretty-
just going to go hang out in London for a few days.
Yeah.
We might be
Very
having
chill.
dinner with someone special.
Yeah, let's give a little itinerary for everyone so everyone can get an idea of what it looks like to go on a race trip to Europe, because it is kind of a crazy thing. It's a big trip, big time change, which has a big impact on your body and makes it hard to train and race. I think generally it's nice to go on longer trips. This year is weird because World Champs is here in the US, and so there's a lot of travel back and forth, whereas normally I think ideally you have a big base in the US and then you have a big base in Europe. Yeah, this year's a little different, so let's run through the itinerary for you guys.
So we leave.
Well, we're going to start packing right after this.
Start packing.
Because
2 hours before we depart for the
that
airport.
hasn't happened yet. And then overnight to London. Get there Monday, midday. Whip over to our Airbnb in Kingston
no
upon
big deal.
Thames.
You guys are staying in Kingston?
I think so.
You know who lives in Kingston? Spider-Man.
No way.
Yeah, he lives in
You
Kingston.
know who also lives in Kingston? Stormzy.
Really? Kingston is such a cool town because Teddington and that area around Bushy Park is really fancy, but Kingston is more like younger people, and it's like a lot of shops and stuff. It's a really fun place.
So yeah, me, Sage, and George do some shopping.
shopping?
No, but we'll chill out, relax for a few days, just get used to the time zone because it's a bit of a shock.
We got a
Get off the
little
plane.
workout.
Little
Wednesday.
workout, little Wednesday workout. Workout Wednesday with Flow Track.
Nice.
No, we're not with Flow Track, but little workout Wednesday, and then we might be having dinner with someone special. Well, I might be having dinner. I know Geordie's definitely having dinner with someone special. I might be invited.
All these invites still pending?
Still pending.
How's that possible?
Well, I just haven't mentioned that.
He's too scared to mention that this guy is coming to dinner.
Yeah. So we're going to tell them who the special person is? Or just leave everyone?
It's Bink.
Yeah. Does our audience know who Bank is? Do you think
We've talked about
enough?
Bank before.
So,
Maybe
with
like
music.
once.
With music and stuff.
So anyone who doesn't know, Baynk.
Bink.
He's George's...
Doppelganger.
Yeah, you guys look...
He's not at all. If he actually is there, you're going to realize that we don't look anything alike.
Maybe it's just the hair and the eyebrows or something. I don't know.
Based on seeing pictures of them online, I think you would say they look like typical New Zealanders to me. They both look very
typical
Kiwi.
Kiwis.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in London.
He's an artist. He's a musical
artist. If you want to check him out, Spotify, Apple Music, his stuff's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. Well, that pod is a big fan of his, and Geordie is hopefully catching up with him for dinner, and I'm gonna just crash it.
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. That's the plan.
And this will be the first Diamond League for Sage too. Sage is doing the 800, so that's gonna be exciting for her. She just ran under sub 2, so I think it'd be pretty.
Sub 2.
Ran sub 2.
Nice.
Ran
I was trying to wrap
my
my head around that. If you ran under sub 2,
what does that mean? If you run under sub 2, if you run sub 2, it's obvious what it means. But what do you mean when you run under sub 2?
Under
negative
sub 2?
time.
Yeah, it must be. I don't know. You kind of broke the system there.
Yeah, but she's coming. Is this her first time in Europe, or has she been to Europe before?
She's probably been to
I'm
Europe.
sure she's been.
I don't know. Who knows?
Don't quote us on that.
We'll find out.
Anyway, yeah, Sage and I's Diamond League debutantes.
I'm very excited for you guys. I'm also upset though because I did file into Wider Diamond League to see if I could bring Gus.
You asked them?
No response.
No response to the email?
No.
Damn, Gus, I'm sorry.
So Coffee Club, what's his position with Coffee Club?
Senior manager.
I
don't know. CEO.
Assistant to the senior manager.
Whatever it is, it's the most important job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about this. Being an 800 meter runner is cool, but also really hard because there's only 8 people that get into a race. So
it's the hardest final to make.
I was thinking about Sage even getting into a Diamond League. You have such crazy competition just to get a spot on the start line.
That's a good point, actually. And you have to go all the way to Europe for a week to run for 2 minutes.
Yeah, which...
I mean, we're only running for 3.5 minutes, but...
Yeah. It'd be sick for her, but it is tough being an 800 girl.
Yeah.
So...
No, she's ready to rip it. She looked really fast in the workout the other day, so...
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for Sage.
Once she gets against some actual competition...
Yeah.
Because in that race at Penn, she was...
So far ahead.
Yeah. So that'll be cool. And... Yeah, so you guys are in Teddington Kingston for 3 days. Head up to Birmingham. Still don't know. Don't know how to say it.
Birmingham.
Take a train.
Right.
And then the race is on Saturday, right?
Yeah, and then party Sunday.
Party Sunday on the plane.
On the plane.
On the plane. Yeah. Me and George are just gonna party.
What time is your flight back?
Afternoon.
2 o'clock or something.
We get back on the same day.
Yeah, dude, isn't it just shit that you have all this build up to a race and then you race Saturday? Well, I guess this one will probably be in the afternoon, but sometimes you race Saturday night and then you just leave 10 hours later, Sunday morning, and you're just so tired.
Feel terrible.
You just feel absolutely terrible, and then you have a 10-hour flight. I mean, these are real first world problems I'm complaining about right now, but it's just annoying. Yeah.
I think as well, just traveling to that far for one race and then traveling back, it does seem like a lot, Because usually when people travel to Europe, they'll race for 3 or 4 races. They'll be based there for a while. Yeah. Whereas we're just going there for one race and coming straight back. And then
wonder what Josh Kerr's doing.
Kerr?
When is the UK? It's probably
their trials later. Probably, yeah.
Is he running the Balnois?
No, he actually got invited, but he chose not to run it.
Interesting.
So he might be doing something else.
Maybe he is staying there.
Yeah.
That would be a long time for him to stay there, though, away from his training setup.
I mean, he
but-
doesn't live in Seattle anyway. He trains in Albuquerque. So.
I think the
The whole
team's there
team's
anyway.
there,
Though.
yeah. They do like they low-key do almost similar to the Bauman model, where they are on training camp for so many months and you just don't really hear about it.
I don't know if I'd like that. Like, for being in a training camp for that long. Like,
Yeah. It's
I
good.
do-
I mean, our training camp was meant to go for like 7 weeks, and it lasted like 5. So I can't imagine having to go on training camp for like 4 months.
training camp, our training camp. Far out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Like, I just like being able to not live out of a suitcase.
If you're in Flagstaff though,
Flig.
you would never get sick
Flig.
of it. You would never get sick if you had Mike
Well,
Smith.
I mean, if I had Mike Smith around me, like, I would have no problems. I would have no problems.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody in Mike Smith's life has any problems or doubts.
Was it on the
Everything's
last episode where you
completely
said you want him to be your agent? Was that on the,
Yeah.
was that
Yeah.
on the podcast?
clear? He can take 25%.
25%,
He can take it all. He can take it all. Like,
100%.
I mean, imagine Mike Smith just answers the phone for you. Yeah, I represent. He's a deep voice. I represent all yours. Like, anybody's gonna get me into any race with that.
Yeah. So
Be Mike Smith, man. Can you imagine?
Dude, as soon as I got the flag, I just had just been one day there. I immediately felt 100 times better.
all your injuries,
we
all your
did
injuries
joke.
were fixed.
They disappeared.
When we were at the shoot, because you missed the first few days of the shoot, we were like joking, like, yeah, George isn't coming back. We're telling Dathan's like, he's actually not coming back.
We're gonna have to go to him. We're gonna have to move the whole group to George, otherwise it's just not gonna work.
She told me I wouldn't have come back.
If the group was based around George, it probably would have been in flag.
That's a good point.
Like, because I'm pretty sure they would have been like, oh, where do you want to have the group? George would be like, Fleek!
Yeah.
Fleek!
Why are we talking about Flagstaff again? I guess I said it, but
You brought it up.
I'm sorry.
But MTC will be in Teddington, I think.
Really?
So,
The other half that's not in flag.
flag, yeah.
Yeah.
Catch up for
I
some
went into
coffees.
this coffee shop, and every 5 minutes, someone I knew walked in.
Dude, you just know everyone. You're like Carlos.
Well, I mean, they were just runners. Wasn't
Just
that
pro
cool?
owners. Who are they?
Craig.
Craig Ingles.
Craig Right Angles.
Right angles.
Yeah.
With Coco and Brett. And then
Dude.
All the kudos.
Yeah.
Matt McElroy came in, triathlete. And then Goose and Alexa.
John Gussman.
Guzman.
Version of the Goose.
One of the
Australian goose.
half medallions of the goose. The other goose is the goose, and
Yeah.
then there's the goose, Guzman goose.
I think that was all, actually.
That's a good
But that was
list.
in, like,
That's
20
quite
minutes.
an accomplished list of athletes. So, yeah, that's flagged for you. The race, Birmingham. Anything else to talk about? Do we have any idea of anything about the race yet, or is it too early?
They'll set a pacer for 1100. Will the pacer go on pace? Depends.
1100, really?
That's pretty
They
fast.
usually do 800, 1100. They did that for most Diamond Leagues.
Yeah.
What's your plan to beat me?
To beat you? Honestly, I'm not overthinking this one, because this one's the first one, and you don't really know where anybody's at. So, because I feel like going into this race is going to be much more. Everyone wants to beat everyone, so just go and race it. I'll hopefully feel good on the day and just race the way I think I can win a race, and I'm sure you'll do the same. And I know me and George are in good shape, so
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a great race, so hopefully people can tune in and watch it.
Yeah, the boys had a really big, entertaining workout yesterday. So the whole team was at the track.
Do you remember any of it, Ollie?
Blacked
I don't
out for a
remember.
little
I don't
bit.
remember one of the reps.
All right, here's the context. So Joe Klecker is racing the
Kleck
10K
mix.
trials in less than 2 weeks, and this was his big final workout before it. So it was definitely, if you look at it on paper, a 5K, 10K workout. It was not a 1500 meter workout.
8K total. Work.
Yeah, it was not a 1500 meter workout at all. And I had a pretty relatively easy workout. I was doing 3, 2, 1 mile reps at threshold on the track. So I was pretty much just running around and just watching what these guys were doing, because they had, well, am I allowed to say this, or is this like secret?
No.
It'll be on Joe's Strava anyway.
Oh yeah, it's probably already up there.
I mean, our training is not secret.
Yeah.
Depends if you run for
Out there.
Bauman or not.
True.
If you run for Bauman, you can't talk about it.
So the workout was 2 sets of 1600, 1200, 800, 400, and the prescribed paces were really quick. What was the first
So
1600?
he only.
Well, I mean,
he only
the prescribed pace.
for the first set.
That wasn't that bad, but then he
Yeah.
just assumed, he just said that
Well,
the
no,
second
but
set
the
was
thing
supposed
is,
to
if
be
you
faster.
look at it, if you look at it on paper, it didn't actually say to descend it on my final
Yeah, it
search.
didn't.
It doesn't have to say on paper. If
No, but the thing is,
You know.
this
He
is
told
what
us that
happened.
when we got there.
Yeah,
This is what happened. So like it was 4:24 for the mile. I think it was like 3:12 or 3:10 for the 1200, 2:04 for the 800, and 60 right for the 400.
Like
that
66,
was the times prescribed.
64, 62, 60.
That was the times prescribed. And then when we went the warm up, Joe was like, "Yeah, we're going to descend the next set," and I was like, "Didn't say that in the workout."
That's not surprising though.
Well, to me, like if you look at a workout like that,
That's how I would probably. I don't know.
but descend it by the amount we did.
Well, yeah, that was
I
surprising.
mean, that was mostly just clicker though.
It just felt
yeah.
to me that like if I did the exact same set in the same times,
You
I
would've
feel like I
got-
would have got the same benefit.
Yeah, you would have gotten a lot out of it. Well,
Same
again,
benefit.
yeah. Well, it's not a 1500 meter workout, so it's like it's
No.
probably going to improve your 10K time, but
So let's go through the second set because the first set we did the times, we did the recovery, and then the second set came. We had spikes on, and Clec Daddy was leading that mile, and we went through. It was
you went through 800,
I think we all went
800
through
and
in
208,
208.
and then we closed the 800 and 204 to run a 412, 1600.
412, 1600. Jesus.
And then the next 1200 is where I don't remember. My soul left my body because I think I was with Joe. I was leading it, and then Joe took over, which was good.
At 800,
Yeah, no, 600.
600.
And then with 200 to go, I think I ran a 40-second 200.
40-second last 200.
I was cooked. I was on the ground. I literally didn't think I was going to finish the workout.
Dude,
I was so angry.
it was crazy from my perspective because I was just watching and Ollie finished and straight away went to the ground like literally on his.
I
Like,
think he
hands
was on
and
the ground
knees.
after the mile too.
Really?
He was on the ground after both.
And I
legs.
don't see Ollie like that ever.
Mm.
I knew Ollie was like getting.
I was
up to it.
hurting.
Yeah, but then the crazy thing is that Ollie bounced back completely fine in the 800.
800 was 201, and then the last 400 was 56 with a nice little close from George on the outside.
Yeah,
George ran probably like 52 or something.
how'd you guys run the 400?
30, 27, 26. Is that right, George? We closed the
something
last
like
200
that.
pretty hard.
That's crazy.
And everyone was together. It was pretty sweet, actually.
Yeah.
That was one of those workouts, though, where I knew I was going to be, like, on the ground.
Yeah, but that's
Because,
the
like,
thing.
Joe's, like, a
I mean, we
workhorse,
literally
man.
talked about it the day before. Me and Morgan said that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that workout is definitely a workout where Ritz is completely okay with you being on the ground.
Well, yeah, but I was on the ground. No one else was.
Well-
George and Joe were walking around fine afterwards. I
But
was,
that's
like, cool.
Yeah.
I probably would if I knew how to do that. Like I've never been able to push myself ever to get to that point.
I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a talent and a strength to be able to push yourself that hard.
Well, I just don't
I just
understand.
can't run that hard.
I don't understand how you're able to push yourself that hard and then your recovery was 3 or 4 minutes and then you're completely fine. It's so impressive.
It was it 3 minutes up between the 1200 and 800?
Probably.
Something
We
like
had
that.
good rest, which
Yeah.
helped
A lot
to
of
do
rest
those
helps.
times. And you keep forgetting that we're at altitude sometimes.
Dude, that is the thing. Those paces are so hard at altitude. Anything close to 5K pace, I think, is probably the hardest work to do at altitude.
That's brutal at altitude.
So impressive. I mean, I think Joe's coming off running 13:04 or something a week ago. So clearly, I mean, he's just fit, crushing, getting ready to race the 10K trials, which is going to be a huge race.
I mean, that's going to be one of that race is going to be nuts.
Yeah.
And Alicia too. Like Alicia's crushed her workout.
Wait, did Alicia have the same workout, just on her own?
On her own.
Oh, that's brutal.
And I think all the reps that she did were a lot quicker.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She
scary.
did 64 400 in the last set, and she went 33:31
That's pretty speedy.
for a 10K goal.
Yeah.
Like after all that work is very impressive. So she's ready to rock and roll too. But everyone had great like big workouts. Carmela and Leah had a big workout. You and Ben did a pretty solid workout. Like a lot of mileage.
Yeah, our workouts were big in some way, but there's a massive difference between
intensity.
doing threshold effort versus 5K.
Yeah, it wasn't the intensity.
I don't even know what effort you call that. I guess almost like all
Ball
out.
buster.
I don't know.
I think it's just like VO2. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was telling Rick, that's like the first hard session I feel like I've run since World Indoors.
Really?
Because the only other time we've really run hard was when Joe and Ollie were just thrashing 800s at Penn when I wasn't running.
yeah, that workout.
Yeah.
That workout was much more pure rage too.
But see, that's a good thing. I think that shows you, because a lot of people listening probably they do ask questions about this stuff, like how hard should you go in training? And this shows you there are times to go really hard, but
There are also times to not go
Yeah.
really
most
hard.
of the time it's
Yeah.
Since World Indoors until yesterday, I feel like all I've done was like strength stuff or like 200s.
And that's awesome because you
I
know.
guess until pacing Joe, that was actually the first
Yeah.
kind of, that was like a little warm up for yesterday.
Yeah, it's sweet though because you know that you don't need that much of the crazy hard stuff, and you're gonna be freaking ready to go. So it's cool. I think those workouts are fun because I mean obviously I haven't done one in a while, but you just get switched on. It's just closer to racing. You know, in training things are generally controlled, but in a workout like that where you have the green light a bit to go for it, you get a bit more mentally prepared, you get a little more nervous or whatever, like your body just gets a little more ready and it's a little more closer to racing. And yeah, I'm excited to do a lot of that work because I think that's the stuff that I got to work on a lot. So yeah, you guys crushed it. So
Yeah, well, ready to run a 10K. I mean, 1500, I mean, whatever.
yeah,
No,
that's what Ollie said.
it does feel like I said that as a joke, but it's like legit. Like
Yeah,
we do 1500 meter workouts, but majority of my training isn't 1500 meter workout. It's like 10K.
yeah.
I literally just train with Joe. I feel.
You guys,
And
Jordy,
Jordy-
you guys diverge sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
We
but
diverge a tiny bit.
Like a little bit later on the season, but we do a lot of 10K work.
Dude, I'm not a 1500 runner anymore anyway, so it doesn't
Yeah.
even matter.
What do you mean? You're running fucking Birmingham Diamond League. You're a
Yeah.
15 guy.
Just qualified. Just got. Well, I didn't even say
Hell
this.
yeah,
Congrats to
congratulations.
George. You got picked for Team New Zealand
New
for the
Zealand.
5K.
New
Thanks,
Zealand.
boys.
So you could still get picked for the 1500 though.
Good.
Yeah. So.
So
it's
well, this race, if you run the standard,
Yeah.
it's a good chance, you know.
Yeah. So
I'll just double, I guess.
Might as well.
Easy.
is it a doable double?
It kind of is. The
It is.
1500 finishes before the 5K starts.
Because my plan is to hopefully run through the 1500,
yeah.
get that done, and then just have a little drinkies at the dock.
And then go race the 5K?
And then go race the 1500 at Com Games.
Oh, you're not gonna double?
No, I don't think I nominated for it. I think you had to nominate for it. And I didn't run the trials.
Okay, I've often wondered how much that really matters because, so for anyone who doesn't know, when you, even to get picked for Team Australia, you technically have to nominate yourself, go on the website, go on the portal, put in your information.
And you have to pay for it too.
And you have to pay for it.
$100.
But like if you're like the best in the world and you didn't nominate, are they really not going to pick you?
Well,
How's that work?
well, what would happen is if hypothetical, if say Stewie or I or somebody won Worlds, you don't nominate because you're automatically selected.
Well,
But if you medal or you're one of the best in the world, you still nominate, you still pay the fee.
I'm so confused with what you're saying because how I'm
If
talking
you're
about
world champ, you don't
qualifying.
have to
For,
nominate.
I'm talking about qualifying for Worlds.
Yeah, you don't have to qualify. But any other, like what I'm saying is like world champ, you don't have to qualify. You already
Yeah.
qualified. But any, like, if second, you still have to pay the fee, still have to nominate, still have to
Oh,
qualify.
how many do you have to pay for that?
Yeah.
How's it free?
Yeah.
Nah,
I don't remember.
$100.
I don't remember paying for it, but yeah, seems like something that could be real. I don't know.
I remember looking at it.
Scammed.
No,
It's
I
just
know. I
It
looked
was-
at it and I paid it and I like messaged like the people at AA. I was like, is this serious? Like, am I actually paying this? And they said, yeah.
They said, "Yes, Keith."
I think it covers.
cost
Keith.
you.
Hey
cost
Keith.
you 200
Hey
actually
Keith,
for
good to hear
you.
from you, brother.
For you.
Extra $100 is changing the name.
Yeah.
No, that you have to pay for it. So.
I've had to pay 2 club fees this
Yeah.
season.
Oh, I
already.
have to pay that as well. You
200
have to
See,
be registered. with the
I
club.
get the club fee.
$130 club fees.
Okay, that is a lot, but I do get the club fee because it makes sense that if you're gonna that you have to be registered at a club you have to be registered for like your athletic federation. I do understand that.
But I
one.
don't like the one thing I don't run in my club kit.
You don't, but I guess you would if you were back home and stuff. If you weren't so good, you would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Yeah, maybe. I'm
So-
still in my like high school, the club that I don't live at. Anyway, it's like 3
Really?
hours from my house.
Really? I still got my same club. from
Randwick
when I was-
Botany?
Randwick Bunny Harris from when I was 6 years old.
Southern Districts,
I bleed yellow and blue.
I bleed blue, black, and white.
Wait, really?
I thought you were Cronulla.
I'm blue, black, and white.
There is no Cronulla, Southern District.
Oh, okay.
Mine's black and blue and white too.
Let's go.
Damn, that's pretty cool. I'm jealous.
But yeah, I mean, the qualification thing and nomination thing is kind of weird because I'm guessing for USAs you have to nominate too,
I'm
right?
sure you do for everyone.
Because trials.
Yeah, but whatever. So I feel like, is that our Birmingham preview done? I don't know what else there is to talk about.
Well, I think in the comments, people should mention how they think the race is going to go, who's going to win,
yeah.
who's going to get the bragging rights between me and George. George and I,
How many times have we raced this year?
we've raced
Just that one
just the
1500?
1500. Oh, the 5K, I guess.
That was last year.
Oh, it was last year, December.
No, kind of this season.
Part of the season.
Part of this.
So we won one?
I would say 101 for this season because
I think
Would
the
you count the
5K,
5K?
that was the
Yeah.
season.
1500 would be 1-0 though.
yeah, it would
for,
be.
for George.
So definitely, in the comments, tell us what you think,
Tell us what you think.
and also wish the boys luck because it's a huge race for them, and it's gonna be very cool for them to go out and race against a bunch of the best in the world. It's what it's all about, huh?
That's what it's all about.
So
That's why I wake up every day and look at Gus and be like, oh, God damn it.
I do this for you.
Diarrhea in the bed again.
Yeah, you've got to pay the bills somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of all like specific running stuff. What's going on? We do have a bunch of Q&A which we're gonna hit today. So our first one comes from Augie, sick name. Best tips for high school runners.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
I
like
think
that.
the one thing that I did in high school was overthink times and like placings and nationals, making like that sort of stuff is important, yes, but I think if you're having fun and you're improving in your own kind of trajectory, you'll see results if you really enjoy it and have fun with it, and just don't overthink it. Because the one thing for me was I was good in high school, but I wasn't like one of the top guys. So I just thought back then if I could relive it, I would try to enjoy it more, have fun racing, and just enjoy your own improvement with it. That would be my advice.
That was fucking great advice. That's pretty much what I would say as well. Just have fun with it because like it's
You
just
don't get to
fucking
do it
running.
for long. Like
Yeah, and being able to do it in a high school scene where it's, just more about fun, more about spending time with your friends. I mean, I still very high pressure. Like probably the most nervous I've ever been was when I was in high school, to be honest. I was more nervous back then.
state champs,
But
national
that's
champs,
that's why it's special, when
Yeah.
you look back on it, because it meant so much to you. But yeah, definitely all those moments, all those trips you get to go on, all those races you do, all those PBs you run, all those just training sessions that you do with your friends, man, just enjoy it.
Have
Yeah.
fun with it. Like
It's just running.
yeah,
So
it's meant to be fun.
Yeah.
That's why we do sport.
Yeah.
I feel like this Coffee Club is still lived by that. It's just fucking running.
I mean, it is though. Like George,
Yeah.
like we're
We
literally
used to
going to England to do laps around a track and then coming back.
Pretty
and we get to do that against some of the best athletes in the world. Like it's awesome.
That's-
Just enjoy
yeah.
it. Have fun with it.
that's the other quote that if someone asked me what's kind of like my best running quote or whatever, that's still what I say. Because that's what Mick Byrne would always say to us. He's like, it's just running, no one gives a fuck. So
Yeah.
I should have said that to Colin. He asked me
Yeah.
that in table talk.
that's what I said to
Really?
him. That's what I said.
I
Yeah.
should have said that.
Yeah.
It is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys got any tips?
You got anything else, George?
I reckon that's, yeah.
Yeah, I feel
I'm trying to think what I did in high school.
George was just like a smoke show in high school, so he's just walking around with all the girls.
just with the ladies at the track meet. Just
Short
Coming
hair,
from the
short hair
farm.
George, just coming from the farm.
did you?
I was like very clipped
You had
back
a, you had a
inside.
prep, you had a
Clean.
prep haircut.
Had to.
little preppy boy.
Yeah,
That was
I
the
had to
only
as
way.
well.
Yeah, I like how we said that as if we both didn't go to private boys' schools as well.
I think
Which
just
we did.
mostly just you can't compare yourself to anyone else. Looking at if I was comparing
Yeah.
myself to what other people were doing, like I didn't know what the word mileage was. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't
Dude.
know how fast other people were running.
Ignorance is bliss.
It
Ignorance
was
is bliss.
ignorance is bliss. Like don't get
That's-
caught up
that's-
in what other people are doing,
Great
Yeah.
advice too. That's one I would take as well in my high school.
especially at that age. Like doesn't matter.
Just doesn't. No, just have fun with
It
it.
really doesn't matter at all.
What about you, Morgan?
Well, I kind of just piggybacked off yours, so I'm gonna
We'll take that. Those are two great points that I think that we
Like you just gotta
we
be
live
stoked.
by. We
I
live
was
by.
stoked about what I was doing, but looking back and then I was like, wow, there were other people who were just doing so much better.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that,
Yeah,
and so I was still stoked
so
about
much
what I was
better.
doing.
because otherwise it would have ruined it.
Yeah.
One thing that they do, I don't know if they do this anymore because I think it's been shown to be pretty unsuccessful, is through like the national pathway system, they would have this thing where to get supported at certain ages, you would have to be hitting certain times, if that makes sense. And
That's shitty.
it's just the dumbest thing ever because progression is so non-linear in this sport and in anything really.
It's
So
the crazy thing with college too, because like obviously recruiting to college, you have like, oh, these are the times to get into the program,
yeah,
which is understandable because like that's just the way it is. But there are kids that might just get those times and be able to do it, and then there's like a massive growth in college. So it's just like you said, it's just not linear.
yeah, at every
Growth
level.
can come in crazy times.
Still at this level, it sucks when it's based on that. I still think there's some like Athletics New Zealand funding that is solely based on
Yeah,
having a certain
it definitely is.
PB or whatever.
Australia's the same.
Yeah, but I guess they got to find a way to do it. But there's probably a
It's
better
got to be
model.
a system, I
Has
guess.
to be
knows?
some objective
Yeah. So I don't
thing.
know.
You know what they should do, George? Morgan? They should just base it on followers on Instagram. Easy. Easy.
Dude, that
You
would
have a lot
make
of
it
followers
so-
on Instagram? you get the funding.
That would make it so much easier for everyone.
Oh God, it would make it so much easier.
Just slide yourself out. So thanks, Augie. I think that was a very
That's a great quote.
good question. This next one is kind of like pretty serious as well from Daniel. Have any of you struggled with image issues, whether it be because you perceive yourself as too skinny or not skinny enough for a runner? Which is a very real thing for both females and males at all levels of the sport. In particular, I think I probably started seeing it in college a lot. There was a lot of people who were probably too skinny and had bad habits, and I don't think it's like worked out that well for any of them. I mean, there's a lot of people who have experienced this themselves, and then they talk about it, and it's really good to hear, like Molly Seidel or something. Like if you follow her, like, you know all about their stories, about their struggles, so they probably can talk about this better than we can. But I guess we can talk about, we can still talk about it from a personal level. I kind of don't think I've really had anything like this, because I think I just realized like my body is gonna look a certain way, and that's okay. I don't know.
No, it's unique. I mean, I definitely, my personal story with it is I'm much more comfortable with my body now than what I was just before college. Like I was pretty embarrassed with my body. I've been called a fat frog. Like a frog with skinny arms, legs, but like a fat kind of lumpy body. And yeah, that's like, obviously I can laugh it off, but in deep down that did hurt a lot.
Yeah.
And then going through college and then just working on other stuff, other focuses, it helped me just realize that like this is the body I've got and it's got me here. So I should be happy and thankful for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I struggled with body image issues like early on in college, and then definitely was able to like have good people around me, including Morgan and Joe Hardy, and like there's people there that just, you know, they made me feel better about myself. So that kind of helped. I know I have no ass. I've been told that multiple times by teammates.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a funny thing. But yeah, like
come to accept it.
Come to accept it. I mean, like, there's girls on the team that make fun of my ass. I just got to be like, you know what? Fine.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes, because if it was the other way around, I probably wouldn't be able to say.
No.
But it's sometimes annoying, but I think the one thing you have to realize is like your body is always going to be unique and it can do amazing things, and you should be thankful for it. But really, it's our own personal growth journey. And it's hard to like be able to reflect and compare stories when other people have different experiences.
Yeah. Dude, I just knew I was never going to have a six-pack. Not that I ever really wanted a six-pack that bad, but just the way my body is, even though I'm skinny. Dude, no six-pack from orcs.
But I mean,
I'm sorry, ladies and men.
Not to make you feel uncomfortable, but I think you got a great body in the sense of like your legs and like your butt as well.
Thanks, Ollie.
You and George
Thanks,
just to talk you guys up, like, you know.
Thanks, Ollie.
Just to talk you guys up a little bit more, but you guys have great legs and great bums. Like your legs are very like, and Joe too has great athletic legs. You know what I mean? Like, just really, really like athletic looking legs and
Ollie,
buns.
so do you. You got really nice hamstrings.
People say that, but like, who's gonna be like looking at the guy goes, wow, he's got great hamstrings.
I bet you people do though. That's the thing.
People are just gonna look at me going, where the hell is his ass? It's gone. This doesn't exist. I'm wearing like half tights.
Go up to his back.
I'm wearing half tights, and literally they're just like, they have to be like halfway up my back because I just got no bum, you know. And it's just kind of embarrassing. And I'm scared to take my shirt off at practice because like you can see it more. But
that's sad.
Yeah,
that's not true.
No, I'm much more content with it now. But earlier on, like when I was in college, I wouldn't take my shirt off because if I was wearing half tights or shorts, I'd be uncomfortable about my ass. Yeah. So, but it's something that you grow with, and I think also coming from Australia and having that sense of humor too. Like I remember my football coach, my soccer coach, would be like, "Oh, Ollie, you still got to do some laps. You still got to go find your ass." Like there'd be jokes like that. Yeah. Fuck. They would try and, you know, like, oh,
that's brutal.
Your header is like a 50-cent piece, which is like all. I mean, you do headers.
Yeah,
it just goes all the way. So he would make fun of
your head wasn't round enough.
Yeah, he would just make like, I was just used to copping shit as Australian, and I just got a thick skin from it. But I can understand that in general, when you keep getting stuff brought up about your body and certain aspects of it, you definitely look at it in a different way, and sometimes in a more negative way than you should. So.
Yeah, I guess there's a time and place for the jokes.
Yeah, because we all joke. It's also like selective. You need to know like who you're joking with. Yeah, like I can joke with you about stuff, and you can joke with like, but there's a certain, you know, there's definitely
Yeah.
certain situations and certain people that you.
Well, we make fun of George's body a lot, but it's only for being so perfect. So
George has a great body. Yeah, we did joke about the shoot because they always wanted his shirt off
yeah,
for the shoot to do push-ups and sit in the ice bath and stuff. But I'm sure, like, maybe, you know, George,
yeah. What's your response
Yeah.
to this question, George?
because we do, like, you do get objectified a little bit about it. So
I just feel like and maybe that's just because you always have your body, so you didn't. I just feel like I've looked the same since I was like 12.
Really?
So I haven't really like nothing has made it change, like running or not running or
Oh, yeah, I see what you're
eating
saying.
or not. Like I haven't tried to do anything, but it's looked the same no matter what I do.
Yeah.
So I've just kind of come to accept this is what I got,
That like
which
you
has
did-
kind of been a nice way to.
yeah.
it is good, and to be able to do that is awesome. I think because you're able to be content with your body and be able to be comfortable with it is like such a hard thing.
I have
Yeah.
my very poor facial hair.
Your facial hair's not that bad, mate.
You'll do
I've
okay.
seen
It's
worse.
so patchy.
Dude, Carlos.
Hey, when you go through puberty, you'll get facial.
Yeah,
hair, don't
Exactly.
worry.
That's what. So and
Carlos-
that's why I still have a 12-year-old's body. I
Yeah.
haven't grown my first chest hair.
I
It
mean,
is crazy.
Carlos is like trying to go a mustache. He's like kind of the same. He doesn't have much facial hair and body hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the aspect of this question that I suppose we haven't really covered, and I guess it's a good thing that it hasn't been part of any of our experiences, is more specifically like race weight or anything to do with that, you know, because some people feel like it does make sense. If you lose some kilograms, then it's easy to run, but I don't know if I actually believe in that.
No, because Mick used to make fun of me for being fat when I was a freshman. He's like, you need to lose weight to be like good.
Yeah.
But like Mick doesn't mean it in a way in which like I think I just started not eating and trying to get super skinny. I think I just started to run better, and I think my body just developed into what it is.
I think that was actually some blissful ignorance in New Zealand too. I'd never heard the term race weight.
No,
Yeah,
we didn't
until-
either.
I don't
until
think it's
I
a
got
real
to the
thing.
US.
I don't know.
We didn't hear
It's
it until
definitely
coming
like
to
an
college.
American thing though.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that was the thing.
Coming to college, I didn't know about it. Like
I have this theory that your body, with the way that we train, I guess maybe you have to have somewhat good periodization in your training, but I think just the way that our training changes and the way that the season changes, like through summer, I feel like you just naturally
I think
you
your body
slim down a
becomes-
bit, and it comes whatever it needs to be if you
Whatever
do
it
things
needs.
right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever something that you have to actively or consciously
yeah.
eat in a sense. I mean, obviously you want to eat healthy unless you're Ollie. Sorry, just had B-dubs. You want to eat healthy and stuff, but I think you can't obsess over doing certain things for your
No.
body.
But you never want to eat too healthy. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just need to eat like
That's true.
a shit ton of calories of something that
Yeah.
is not.
We're also
That's
talking
true.
from a perspective of three males. Like I'm sure like the female.
Yeah, well, I think
purity,
I
as
think
well
we,
as like menstruation and stuff
that's
like it's
true.
just different for them.
that's a whole different story.
Like that we don't know about, but I think just from our experiences, like when you eat, you just like if you want to eat, like George, like get like a lot of calories and get stuff in, fuel in, like that's such an important thing in sport in general, is to make sure that you're fueled up, because if you're not, you feel terrible.
yeah.
Yeah. I think in some our view on race weight is just that if you are doing all your other things, planning towards this race, training and your coaching and whatever, like it'll just come. Like you know, it's not something you
Yeah.
actually have to consciously.
Yeah.
Alright, I haven't been on a set of scales in years.
Yeah.
I would go on set of
neither.
scales once a year when you had to do like your start of year physical,
The physical.
and normally I wouldn't look.
Yeah.
Not out of luck because they like couldn't, but I
Yeah.
was like, this is pointless. I don't care.
Yeah.
But you would have to get on. I haven't been on scales since my last physical.
Yeah. I think for at least in our circle or the people that we're around, and it was like this when I was at Team Boss a lot, and I hope this is filtered down to all levels of the sport, is they're very conscious about making sure that you're maintaining what they would refer to as a healthy weight, and that's definitely erring on the side of more pounds than less. And that's for when we train as hard as we do, you know, you're at injury risk, and if you weigh less, that normally means that you're not fueling enough or not fueling as much so that your body can't recover as much, and you get a way higher risk. If you are doing anything to limit calories or whatever, I think we would just all be at like higher risk for injury. And so it's like you want to, honestly, with Team Boss, when we do all the skin fold type stuff that they do with our nutrition, Matty Arm, it's all aimed at making sure that you weigh enough so that you're at lower injury risk, which I think is like the best way to go about it. And yeah, hopefully
As
that's
opposed
how
to the
it
other way
is.
around.
Yeah, hopefully that's how it is.
It's a good way to look at it.
I mean,
Yeah.
you still hear about stories. For example, there was all the Oregon stuff that came out last fall about them doing like their DEXA scans or whatever they were doing, and like but not using it in a positive way. I think it seemed like that was a negative thing, but yeah, I think it seems like for us the mentality on it is very positive right now, and yeah, hopefully that spreads to everywhere. So,
And I think people also worry about like putting on muscle lifting or whatever. Like, I shouldn't lift too much. Like, I don't want to get muscle. But I'd say 9 times out of 10, an extra 5 pounds of muscle is going to make you faster
yeah.
and stronger than without those 5 just being weaker and lighter.
Yeah, I think if you're doing the running training, I think it'd be impossible to put on muscle weight that's like
It's
not beneficial.
Gonna be useful. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, not an expert on that, but I don't know. This is kind of our next kind of questions. They're kind of similar, but well, they're kind of related. Not really. Well, okay, there was one that was roasting Ollie's body actually. Billy, thanks, Billy. He just wanted to know Ollie's bicep routine.
In order to fill out the speed score.
My bicep routine from thanks Billy for bringing that up. I mean, like it's really hard to maintain these biceps particularly when you're racing as well as I am. So I pretty much just usually try and take Gus off the bed in the morning. That's usually my bicep routine.
Just one by Gus pickup per day.
Yeah, that probably gets my biceps all jacked
Nice
up,
and
ready
juicy.
for 1500 meter race.
Yeah. Damn, that seems like a silly question to ask right after talking about all that stuff. But I'll find
that is one thing that I feel like that's a healthy relationship with his making fun of his speed suit arms.
Yeah, I think we can all joke about each other's. We're like a very safe space here where we can. Well, I guess hopefully for anyone listening, nothing is like triggering. But for us to joke about this stuff among each other, it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
to do.
But I'm very comfortable with. I'm very comfortable with you guys about joking about my body. I make fun of myself most of the time.
We joke about certain aspects of our body quite often.
Yeah, quite often.
So
large or small. But I think it's just to get to that mindset is it's sometimes it's
yeah. But all right, final question of the day from Philip
Ingebrigtsen.
Probably. He didn't put his last name, so I'm going to assume that it was
my boy Ingy. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Ingy to respond to hopefully I can stay with him in Oslo for the Diamond League.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, me and Ingy will hang out.
I wonder what type of place he lives in. I wonder if
Does he live in Oslo?
Yeah, it's not very nice though.
No, it's not good. I feel like I wonder if they live the kind of more stoic. Well, stoic's a weird word to use there, but like the more Spartan pro runner lifestyle, or if they live like millionaire lifestyles, or if it's just a happy medium.
I'm sure he lives in an apartment with his
girlfriend. Didn't they give him Mercedes by like...
Yeah. But maybe they just do that for the Instagram, and then they like, nah, I'll take the Prius. I don't know.
I'll ride a bike.
Yeah, I'll take the bike. I'll take the bus. I don't know, because I could see them kind of, well, they do spend a lot of the year on training camp, and I guess whenever you're on training camp, you live a pretty bare bones lifestyle. So I guess they do that a lot of the time. But yeah, Philip's question was, if you could only run with one runner's form, who would you pick? Do we have to should we say that you have to pick someone else's? Because I think George would probably just pick his own form. Would you pick your own form?
I don't think so.
Oh, you really wouldn't?
You know how I like watching running recently? I like Chilimo's.
Chilimo. Dude, he's a smooth operator.
He is a smooth operator. Dude, that's a hard question for me.
It is hard.
Because I don't...
Big fan of Paul Chilimo's form.
Yeah, Paul Chilimo does have good form. But
the thing with Paul Chilimo is, doesn't he go kind of wild at the end of races? Isn't that him? Is he the one that he has some of like those kind of dramatic like finish line
dives? Yeah.
Finals. Maybe that's him just really pushing everything out. So I don't know if that counts as his form. But he does have some wild finishes.
Chiswick has good form up
until the 100
to go.
The one form, if I could say it, which I can't because I'm a distance runner, Marcel Jacobs. Like the way he
sprinter.
The way he sprints, his form is so sick, I think, personally. Also, Donovan Brazier. I like his form quite a bit. And
I don't.
Really? I think he looks really cool when he runs. And I think for me, it would be more looking cool.
More about looking cool.
I mean, you could say Jakob, or you could say like, I really think, I like my form.
Yeah.
I mean, it might not be perfect, but I do like it because it seems fine for me right now.
Yeah.
But I think
So if you were to change it, you'd just go full sprint mode.
I'd go sprint Marcel Jacobs. I think his form is so cool to watch.
Yeah.
If I could do that 1500,
Yeah.
it'd be sweet.
You'd be running pretty quick, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think I'd be doing all right. If I could run like that for every 100.
Dude, my one is probably Matt Centrowitz. I think I said this to you guys.
Yeah.
Because the thing is that
Centrowitz is
I like a runner who
His
looks
is really compact.
effortless. Yeah, I like someone who looks effortless. And to me, Matt Centrowitz looks really effortless. I would say the other one who I like is Seb Coe as well. And the kind of marker for me of how effortless they look is that even in races where they're dying, I feel like they don't look like they're dying. Like they're running slower, but they look very similar. And I think, not many people are really like that. So I'm going to say Matt Centrowitz. He just always, whether he is or not, he always looks so in control. So that's how I would like to look.
I like their sometimes, but then I still like watching people in the last 100 like going crazy.
A bit of Nico Young out there.
Yeah,
Bit
even
of
like
McCall.
McCall.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. They just run so like Centra just runs so quick and looks like his form barely changes. I don't know.
What about David Rudisha?
Yeah. Do you see? I guess I wasn't really considering like when you're running as quick as he's running. I feel like it's
You
such
just
a
look like you're
different.
sprinting.
Yeah, he is. I mean, think about how quick he's running.
But look, if you watch his face and his shoulders, like
Yeah.
he's just very
like his is just it's very sprint form.
like his is very relaxed here, but his arms are just
Yeah,
It's not 10K form.
yeah. I think.
I mean, 10K form. Who are you picking then? Keely?
well, Pikili does look very good.
He does
he
actually.
does look very
He's
good.
like
now.
5
That's
feet
who
tall,
I-
but his stride
Yeah.
is like.
That's who
looks
I
so
would pick
pretty.
for a 10K. Like
He
we
looks
could
so
go
pretty.
through it, the list, and you could pick like 10K form Keely.
Well,
No, I
George
think-
said Chalimo, so
Yeah,
Oh.
I think Chilimo counts
But
for most of
Chilimo's
those.
5K, right? You could say
Ah.
Chilimo's a 5K.
I think you could call that 10K form.
Who do you reckon has the worst form?
It was the worst. form.
That's good.
That's
Like,
really good.
Oof.
I don't know. Most really good runners do have pretty good form. I can't think of anyone who's super like it's like you look at them and you're like, how do they do that?
I can think of one. I don't know if it's mean though.
Just
Yeah,
tell
I
it's
us.
really
kinda
like
mean
this
to
guy.
say. It's kind of mean to
So,
say.
yeah.
Okay, we don't say it then.
We'll just think it.
But I don't know what you're thinking, so tell me later.
Not even that it's bad. It's just more of what Morgan said. It's like, how is this dude beating this guy?
Yeah, that is how it is sometimes. And that's when you realize, because changing form is really hard to do. I think in theory
It's
it
not always
makes
positive
sense.
as well.
Yeah, in theory it makes sense to do it, but at the end of the day, and there have been studies surrounding this, like whatever way that you run naturally is probably the best way for you to run. Obviously, yeah, there are some, if you have a certain pattern which leads to a certain injuries, then you have to like do some stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they've shown that you're most efficient when you don't think about it. So, yeah. It's an interesting
I'm
question.
good at not
but
thinking.
yeah, at the end of the day, you just go run, and you're probably going to be the best that you can be. But yeah, anything else, boys, before you guys go pack? And
I was about to say, time to go pack.
I'm gonna go play Elden Ring.
are you going to bring your Xbox to Birmingham?
That's a game time decision.
Game time decision.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna pack. Just traveling with a lot of bags is annoying, but
I feel like if you go play right now, you'll bring it, because I think mentally you'll be like, I really want to keep playing.
I'm just at a really crucial point.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
I knew that Ollie was super addicted when, I think it was 3 days ago. We normally run at 9 a.m. in the morning, and normally Ollie sits out here until about 8:50 and then gets ready to go run, and he disappeared into his room and at 8 a.m. and then he didn't come out until 8:55. And I was like, wait, where was Ollie? And he's playing Elden Ring, he's playing Xbox, and he's
Woke
like at
up
8
and
a.m. in the
played video
morning.
games.
I had a dream about it, and I was like, oh crap, I gotta do that. So I went and played it and did it, and I felt very like I had already achieved something in the day. I
That
already
is good.
achieved something. So
Dude, that's pretty awesome, actually.
that's how I felt about it.
That's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, that's episode 35, I guess. Please, everyone, wish the boys luck at the Diamond League this weekend. And yeah, thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next time.